a nice result.
At this butcher's in Sydney, owner Mark Stapleton is doing everything he can to protect his business against COVID-19.
You want to do the code there? We've got one right in front of you there.
Staff have to wear masks, get vaccinated and sign a daily declaration that they're well and haven't had contact with anyone carrying the infection.
We have to consider our staff going home to their family and their children and their elderly parents.
He also wants to protect himself against being sued by an employee if they get sick.
If a staff member did get quite ill and ended up hospitalised, well, you know, it is a concern that they would have some sort of a comeback.
As people return to the office, COVID restrictions ease and public health orders for mandating vaccinations are wound back. Lawyers say workers' compensation cases are set to rise.
In the absence of an order, that's not going to be enough, I think, to avoid liability. They'll have to show that they were aware of the risks and took the right measures.
And bosses who don't could be sued for deliberately or negligently infecting their worker with COVID.
What employer in Australia is going to be able to say we weren't aware of COVID and the risks it poses to us?
Across Australia, there have been more than 2,500 COVID-related workers' compensation claims, the bulk of which have been in states hardest hit by the virus. Victoria is set to pay out $127 million, while compensation in New South Wales totals $33 million, and that's expected to rise to more than $600 million in the next 12 months. The Council for Small Businesses is worried about work cover premiums going up as hundreds of millions of dollars are paid out due to COVID.
What small businesses are really relying on is public health orders to be able to say, you know, this is what we know to be the one true source of truth, if you will.
While New South Wales winds back restrictions for the unvaccinated next month, it'll soon be compulsory for staff in Queensland pulling beers and others to get the jab.
It isn't a position of discrimination because all people entering into that venue would be regarded as having to have double vaccination.
The ABC can also reveal there have been COVID workers' compensation claims related to deaths. 3 here in Victoria and 2 in New South Wales. WorkSafe Victoria is also investigating the death of a 46-year-old man in September. And more than $800,000 was awarded to the widow of a New South Wales man who died after getting coronavirus on a business trip to the US. Although Western Australia has remained free of major COVID outbreaks, Sam Connor is worried about returning to the office and coming into contact with people who are unvaccinated.
We're talking about discrimination. What does it mean if you go to work and you may possibly die because you're going to be more at risk? You know, clearly this is a risk for a lot of people. And we're not just talking about people with disability, it's chronic illness as well.
A serious health and legal risk.